Twitch earlier, but we are now live on Facebook. Welcome to A Bit of Advice. I'm Joshua Birdsell, your host, while Dennis Normella is in China. Today is Dennis Normella's birthday, so we want to wish him a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Dennis.
Happy birthday, Dennis.
Thank you for everything you do for the show.
And for the world.
Exactly. You're in China right now, so you're doing it around the world. So Dennis started A Bit of Advice on air several months ago, and we now have over 100,000 likes on Facebook, and we are also on Twitch. After the live feed, this video will be up on our page on abitofadvice.org. Also, check out our page, yesplaceradio.org. Okay, today we are with Master NLP Trainer Aaron Charles Berry. Aaron empowers individuals to take control of their lives through different forms of therapy. He has his own company, Aaron Charles Berry Co., or ABC NLP Mastery, and plans to transform the planet by bringing life-changing awareness. Hey, Aaron, so what is Master Trainer of NLP?
Well, that's a very good question to ask. I'm sure some people out there have heard of NLP, or neuro-linguistic programming. It's the thought process of how one actually takes neuro, the mind, linguistics, the language that we use, and how that language actually codes and decodes the thought processes that we use to actually literally create how we view our surroundings. So, Josh, if I was to ask you, what your version of picnic is, obviously you get a picture in your mind, right? Right. And then if I was to ask Dennis Normella what his version of picnic is, well, he's going to get a picture. And then I ask you to both describe that picture, they're not going to match.
Right.
So in NLP, we learn how it is that the minds think. And in a special coaching setting, where I'm going to take someone to another level in their own personal development with any area of life, the very most important thing that I learn is how they think, because it doesn't really matter what you think.
Right.
It matters how you think. I'm not the judge of a person's thought. I'm the coach in helping them expand their critical thinking to open their life to more options.
Awesome. That sounds good. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I see you, Roger Lavender. How you doing, man? I see you in Tuscaloosa. Hey, Lori, how you doing? She said it's been a long time, even though we just talked today.
Lori's always fun like that.
We're glad you're joining us. All right, so I have a few questions here. I'm going to go over the first question. What is a typical problem that you see in your line of work, and what advice can you give on it?
So, a typical problem, let's go big picture on that, because honestly, everybody's got some kind of a problem somewhere in life, and that's chunked way down in the details. And, I've got this little problem over here. Well, everybody's got some little problem somewhere. So to best answer the question, let's just take that little problem and go, whoop, throw it up here, and that would be, well, stuck.
Right.
So no matter what the problem is, let's just say it's stuck.
So stuck in a certain place in your life, or a thought.
Or in your mind, right. If you wanted to not be stuck, the bit of advice that I could give you would be to ask yourself, for what purpose do I have the thought? If you chunk down into the details, why am I thinking that? What is that doing to me? Why do I feel this way? You're gonna go further down the rabbit hole.
Right.
And that's not what we want to do. No. Our minds were meant to expand. And the further down you go, the more of those not happy feelings you're going to get.
Right.
So if you ask yourself, for what purpose is this going on, you might be able to expand your horizons. Like, I don't know. Josh, give me something that might be a stuck something that I can expand for you.
Stuck would be, to me, something like being in, I could name a couple, so I'll just give you a couple and then you can go off.
Cool, just give me, anyone.
Okay, so, let's say you're stuck in a bad job situation or a family member passing.
Nice, nice, nice. I'll go with the stuck job
Okay.
because family members that can, you know, it's a good thing to know that everyone has some place to go beyond this life. And that's as far as I'll go with that.
Right.
That unsticks.
That could go on for
Right.
days. I think I
Or
could too.
yeah, right, right. But stuck in a bad job situation, that leads me to a story. And I love stories, and I think everybody loves a story. So I'll just share a story.
Awesome.
I had a client, and I love this woman. She's amazing. Um, she was hosting a party, and she wanted to make margaritas. So she went to the store and saw three different blenders. And you got the regular blender, and then you got the double volume blender, right? And then you've got the Ninja. Well, she saw that the double volume blender was on sale for like $10 more than the regular blender. So it was like $40, $50, and then 120 for the Ninja, right?
Yeah.
Well, she goes, "Oh, that's a really good deal. I'm going to take the double capacity $50 blender, and I'm going to be able to make twice the amount of margaritas at my party." And she was totally jazzed, right?
Right.
Well, she gets home, and the party's going, and she starts making these margaritas. Well, the blender is jamming up
Mm-hmm.
because the reason that double capacity blender is only $10 more than the other one is because it's got the same guts inside.
Right.
It's got the same motor. It's got the same switches. It's got the same number of windings in the motor. It's no stronger than the original blender. But for $10
more.
Right, for $10 more, you get the shiny chrome bezel and the double capacity, right?
But how's it going to get the double capacity if it's only made for the one?
Right. Well, here's where it gets really good, and we're going to tie this into a bad work situation.
Okay.
This was actually a bad life situation for her, and work is a bad life situation in the context of being stuck there.
Right, exactly.
Right? So I mean, I love what I do. This is my world, and anytime that I can do something to help someone get better with it, well, I'm all for it. So back to the story, the blender's jamming up, and she's starting to get kind of overheated. I mean, not just the blender, but her too, right? She's not able to make these margaritas. She's got to add more water to them to thin them out, right?
Right.
So she's really unhappy with the results.
Right.
And so now she's getting all worked up about it, because she's not delivering what she wanted to deliver to her guests at that party.
Right.
And she took it personally. So that brings her down inside because she wasn't able to deliver what it was that she wanted to deliver. And maybe in your job, you're not able to deliver what it is that you want to deliver because maybe the way you see your boss might be talking down to you, or he might just be trying to get you to go in another direction, but your thought process is keeping you stuck like that medium grade blender.
So I guess you would have to figure out, why are you stuck in this
right.
job? So that would be your next problem that you would have to
right. So
work
we're going to go ahead and take this all the way through real quick. She said, "You know what? The party's over." She said, "I'm done with this blender." Just like you might say, "I'm done with this job. At 5 o'clock, I'm out of here. I don't even want to look back."
Take this job and
shove it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So she takes this blender and she shoves it right back into the box and marches on down to wherever she bought it.
Probably Walmart or something.
Or yeah. And, now let's think about this logically. She had good intentions of getting that blender to do an amazing thing. Right. Just like people have good intentions of getting a job to earn money to do good things with their life. And, well, maybe she didn't pick the best blender for the job. And maybe she did if it was something that she wasn't trying to accomplish a bigger task with.
Right.
Well, what's really important about the story is that you are responsible as the buyer to get value out of what you give your energy into.
Right.
So did she value herself enough to get the bigger blender or the better job, or find the job with the better people in it?
Right.
Or did she go, hey, this is a real bargain. It's not bottom of the barrel. It's just a step
Right.
up, and it'll get me by, right?
Right.
Well, truth is she went back, she shoved it in the box, take that job and shove it, right? Marches back to the store, and now has to wait an hour in the return. You ever seen the return line for a Walmart?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It comes out the customer service desk, out the those stand up alarm systems, right? Then out the front door.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's
Every
at least
time.
that's what it looks like over here in Murrieta.
Yeah, I know,
right. So she's got to spend an hour in this line, and was unhappy with the party situation. Now she's unhappy returning the blender.
Nothing got accomplished.
And right. So the story, or the moral of the story, is if you're in a place in life that you're stuck, or in a job that you're just not happy with, ask yourself, how can I get value out of where I am in life? How can I get value out of this job? This job is going to give me money. What other benefits do I get out of this job? What am I going to learn? What can I learn about the people I'm serving? What can I learn about the organizational process of stacking these shelves? What can I learn about the social media aspects of working with YouTube and Twitter and Instagram? What is the bigger picture? What develops all of this stuff? All of this came out of somebody's mind.
Yep.
So when did we decide to accept something maybe one step up from the basic?
Right.
When did we decide to settle for less than the Ninja blender?
Right. So basically what you're saying is why did we accept the lesser job in this situation?
Right.
Why would you accept that?
Why would you accept yourself?
Probably because you need the money right away, right then.
Well, here's what I'm going. Why would you accept yourself to be in a bad job?
Right.
So that's where I'm going with this. Where is the value in what you can actually get out of it? Because no matter where you are in life, there's something to learn there.
You have to benefit.
Right.
You have to find out what you're going to benefit from everything that you do to be able to keep staying motivated and keep being able to truck along with a job, especially. But sometimes jobs, they can be, so tough, and you can feel stuck, like we were just talking about.
Yeah.
And, when you're released from that job, sometimes you can look back and go, man, I either miss it there or I don't miss it there, because I know I've had that situation before where I just felt stuck at a job, and I'm just like, man, I'm pulling my hair out. I don't know what to do. I'm getting screamed at. Don't even want to be here. I feel like I'm not making enough money. Which is probably what a lot of people think, I'm not making enough money. I think that's probably everybody's number one thing of why they feel stuck at their job, because they're not making enough money, but they have to pay the bills.
Right. So let's take another look at that. She's now returned the blender, right?
Okay.
Let's leave that story and recreate a new one. Let's say that after she returned that blender, she walks straight over to the shelf and picks up the Ninja. Take what she had learned, what she invested in herself in that first blender or that first job, right?
Right.
Took that skill set and applied it to herself, reinvested in herself for that Ninja blender, which is now actually going to do twice the work.
Oh, yeah.
With half the power, half the noise, and produce a much better result. Did you know you can make hot soup in a Ninja blender?
That's crazy.
So that's my bit of advice.
I got you.
On something that's stuck. Take what you got, learn from it, apply it somewhere else, and upgrade your life.
Okay. Awesome. I got a few more questions, so you're not getting out that easy.
Okay.
All right. So, what are some benefits to hypnosis, and are there any negatives?
Well, let's take this into two parts because it was a two-part question. Did you say what are the benefits?
What are some benefits to
Some
hypnosis?
benefits. Well, some of the benefits of hypnosis would be first that before hypnosis was known as hypnosis, it was known as guided meditation. And guided meditation goes all the way back to, well, the temples in Egypt, where they had healing chambers. And people who had an ailment of one sort or another would walk into this space that in the middle of Egypt is actually climate controlled because it's buried by so much rock. You go far enough into the rock and the temperature stabilizes, around 50 something degrees. So these people could go into these chambers and they'd meet a priest or priestess, and there would be some chanting going on and candles.
Some weirdness.
Yeah.
A little bit of weirdness.
Or for the spiritually inclined people, a very special, relaxing place.
I got you.
Girls.
Chill spot.
Yeah, chill spot. Exactly.
Chill spot,
women are smart. They've recreated this. 1,000 years later. They want to have a time off. They'll turn off the lights. They'll light a couple candles, and they can sit in their room, their living room, on the couch with just a couple of candles lit, and just absorb and suck it all in.
And meditate.
Right. And chicks are amazing with that. And of course, then the boyfriend comes home and he flips on the light.
You can do that back in the day, though. So they had these chambers that was nice and cool. So that's where hypnosis started.
Yeah, well, and
basically,
if there's any Christians out there, I'd like to throw one out there that might just blow everybody's mind. But if you were to just take it as a story, when God decided to create Eve,
mm-hmm.
He took a couple of ribs from Adam.
Mm-hmm.
Did he shoot Adam up with a needle? No.
It's not what I said anyway.
Well, I mean, did he take a knife and whack him open and rip these ribs out?
No, I don't think so.
So here's where I'm going with this. If you get the right piece of text, because all ancient text has stuff that was left out in different places depending on who wrote it. But it basically said, from these ribs we will form a woman, and we will cause a deep sleep come over Adam. I don't know about you, but that sounds like hypnosis to me.
Yeah. A deep sleep, meditation.
Very
true.
Are there benefits to it? Well, in the medical industry, starting all the way back in the late 50s, Dr. Milton Erickson brought hypnosis to the medical community. He was a doctor. Mm-hmm. He was a medical doctor, and the American, was it the American Board of Hypnosis or the American Guild? No, it was the American Medical Board, actually, came to him and said, Dr. Erickson, we're going to disband your license. You're no longer going to be able to practice medicine. Well, Dr. Erickson, knowing and being such a caring and compassionate man and incredibly wise, took hypnosis into the medical field. And so for patients now that need surgeries and can't take the anesthetics or the anesthesiology for medical reasons or allergies, they can utilize hypnosis and take the client to a point where there's actually no more pain. So you can have dental surgeries and dental operations. You can even have amputations done completely with hypnosis. The client will feel no pain, and it actually expedites the healing process, because when they go into that state, the body actually slows down. And it slows down so far that it will reduce the swelling. So the inflammation in the area of the surgery is greatly reduced, and the healing time is cut almost in half without the use of more medications.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We're getting close to time, so we're going to speed these few more questions, but go ahead.
Are there any negatives to hypnosis?
Right, that's the next one.
Right.
So go ahead.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to make sure I answered that.
Right. I still got you for that.
is it a negative thing to learn something more about yourself? If you're afraid to look at it, then you could say that. If you wanted to take the next logical level to that ninja blender,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
There are no drawbacks to hypnosis
There's
and
no
learning.
long-term effect or anything like that. You won't randomly just fall asleep.
No,
Nothing like that.
no,
No
no.
crazy stories. Anybody tells you,
You
man,
know,
after that
Hollywood
hypnosis, I
did a
got
really
home,
good job of here, let me swing this bright shiny object.
That's
And you've heard about the Manchurian Candidate.
I have not.
Wow. Okay, so it was originally done, and forgive me if I get this wrong, but this is World War II, going back to I'll leave it at World War II so we don't touch any sensitive subjects with people. But there were studies that were done to see if hypnosis could create the ultimate soldier or mercenary.
Okay, that makes sense.
Right? Where you could have them snap into an alter ego, take care of business,
and then be nice.
Snap
again.
right back, and then never know
they did anything.
They did anything.
That's crazy.
It would create the perfect soldier.
So they did that?
Well, so they're the tests for this, and there's a couple movies about it. And if you ever want to see a movie about it, you might see the original, The Manchurian Candidate. But there's actually a prerequisite to make that happen. There's 5 things that have to happen to brainwash or manipulate someone. In hypnosis alone, you will never do anything that is out of line with your personal values. If you were brought up to be a self-respecting, good person, there's no way in hypnosis you could be otherwise.
Right.
If I was to hypnotize you right now and say, Josh, I want you to go stand on your head in the corner and start singing Mary Had a Little Lamb. If you wouldn't do that in real life because you're maybe a little more introverted, you wouldn't do it under hypnosis.
That makes sense. So it's basically, it can't be used for evil doing.
It can't be, you cannot force someone to do something that's against their values. The unconscious mind will come up and block the suggestion. So back to the Manchurian Candidate, the only way hypnosis has ever been seen to help in a brainwashing situation, you have to have 5 things. Removal from environment, a cocktail of hallucinogenics, pain if they disagree, pleasure if they agree, and sleep deprivation. Those 5 things must be in place to brainwash someone.
That's crazy. Good to know.
Yeah. So pay attention in your life where you might be deprived of sleep, on a cocktail of medications, removed from your environment, maybe cursed at if you're doing something bad at your job, maybe rewarded with a nickel pay raise. I think, did I miss one there?
No, I think you got it covered, man.
Cool.
Because I was just sitting here thinking, too, I can relate because I'm out of my environment. I'm from Alabama, and I moved out here not knowing really anything out here. So I can I kind of still feel like it's all kind of weird. Sometimes I look up and see all the mountains.
Right.
So I can definitely, I can understand what you're saying. It's kind of like we were talking about earlier.
Let's draw a little picture with that. Let's say, Josh, you moved out here. You said from Alabama. Yeah, I picked up on that accent, by the way. It's cool. And you felt out of place in your environment. And let's say you go to the doctor because you wanted an anti-anxiety medication or an antidepressant to help you deal with your surroundings. Now you're probably sleep deprived because you're out of your environment. You're out of your environment, so now you're subject to a new reality, and that's everyone else's reality where you are. Now you're on a cocktail of medications that alter your brain chemistry. I'm not saying that that's going to not affect your psyche and your ability to maybe think clearly. So just look at what you're doing in your life and how can I get better value out of it, and I think you'll be good.
Well, luckily I hadn't had to have a heavy dose of medication or anything like that like you were saying, luckily I've just been able to rely on my faith and keep things rolling, and believe
Well, that's
in
a good
myself.
man. That's a good man. Sometimes we can resort to all kinds of things, and when
Yeah.
I say cocktail medications, it could be medicinal.
Yeah. True.
Smoke. It
Yeah.
could be alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that's going to alter your brain chemistry, especially in a new environment, will cause you to be subject to the environment.
Awesome.
Now, I don't know about you, but as a human in this world, I like my environment to be catered to me instead of me being catered to the environment. I like to go home and turn on the air conditioner or the heater, right?
Be in control of
there we
life,
go.
basically.
That's right. Exactly.
That makes sense. So I got one more question, and then we're going to have to wrap it up because we only have just a couple more minutes.
Okay, I'll try and go quick.
All right, so this one's got to be like a quick 1 minute answer, super fast. What would you say is the most important advice on life that you have learned?
The most important advice. I'm going to give the most important piece of advice that I could give based on a lesson that I've learned. And the lesson that I've learned, and this might be far out there for some people, there is only one true emotion. And that emotion is love. Anything that isn't love is a lie. And people go, wait. No, I feel fear, and I felt anxiety, and I've been anger, and I've been rage, and I've been depressed, and I've been all these things.
Right.
Maybe if you were to take a look at your life and find the one place where you felt loved, you might notice that you can feel that love now. And that if you can feel that love now, that none of those other emotions even exist. And they cannot exist in the place of love. Everything else is a derivative of fear. And fear is a figment of the imagination created in the mind. Fear starts here, ends up all the way in your gut. Love comes from the heart, and it rules everything.
That's good. All right, so tell everybody how to get in touch with you, to reach you if they need your help for your services and everything like that. Make it real quick because we got like 1.5 minutes maybe.
Okay. Best way to reach me is 951-210-0762. All of my services are by appointment and invitation only, so if you have seen this, then you obviously are invited to give me a call.
So you're personally invited.
Yes. And abcnlpmastery.com. We focus on NLP for self-mastery.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Aaron. We are out of time. I think we got like 30 seconds left.
Nice,
so
Josh.